Australian film has always faced an uphill battle while trying to break into an international market.
Welcome to Australia.
The focus on Australianism and quality, rather than entertainment and commercial potential, has alienated both Australian and international audiences. Even Australian audiences are tired of the overuse of the Outback and Crocodile Dundee stereotypes.
That's a knife.
And international audiences find it hard to latch onto specific Australian jokes and vocabulary.
You treat us like a pack of galahs.
That's a kind of parrot.
However, there have been some examples which use certain tactics in order to overcome these issues and become worldwide hits. Since its release in 1986, Crocodile Dundee still remains Australia's highest grossing film. This was achieved because the film was specifically designed to appeal to American audiences.
Don't worry, I'm a New Yorker.
All the Australian culture and vocabulary is carefully explained to the American audience surrogate character, while all the American culture is routine and it is assumed that the audience is already familiar with it.
Aborigines don't own the land. They belong to
See, a croc will grab you.
It's like their mother.
Take you down to the bottom of the
King
water.
Brown.
No,
Ask
no,
an
this is-
Aboriginal.
that's
That's
what
what we do in the bush.
As film journalist Lee Zachariah put it, we're making fun of ourselves to please the popular kids, but that's what made it a hit. It allowed Paul Hogan to advertise Australia much more effectively than the Shrimp on the Barbie tourism ad was able to do, and it allowed the American audiences to laugh at the silly Australian man. According to the website The Numbers, 1979's Mad Max is the most profitable film ever released when comparing budget to gross. In terms of worldwide box office to production budget, there was a return of investment of 24,738%. The film and its 3 sequels were incredibly well received by both Australian and international audiences.
You want to get out of here?
You talk to me.
The films did not dwell on their Australian culture and rather used the unique landscape as a core piece of the lore, thus giving reason and context for the use of the Outback. Director George Miller also attributes the franchise's success to Max's common character archetype. The Japanese saw him as a samurai, the French saw him as an American cowboy, and the Scandinavians saw him as a lone Viking. Bluey has become so successful in Australia and internationally that it has become one of the most streamed series in the world. The Australian accent, values and culture are being beamed into millions of houses around the world. As ABC reporter David Taylor has said, Bluey is selling Australia, but it's also becoming a powerful tool for Australia to spread its influence across the world. Among other things, this success is commonly credited to the show's strong focus on universal storytelling, with less focus on cultural identity, which makes it accessible to any audience.
I'm sorry. It's bad news, I'm afraid. The little budgie died.
Oh, okay.
The series is also distributed internationally by media giants BBC and Disney. Distribution plays a very important role in the success of a film. However, Australian films typically have such a small budget when compared to major Hollywood films that there isn't much left over in order to distribute and market a film successfully. As O'Regan has said, Australian cinema does not have a market and aesthetic niche in some evident cinematic domain, like say Hong Kong's action cinema. The 2000 film The Dish was based on the true story of the 1969 moon landing, used an American audience surrogate character just like Crocodile Dundee,
Well, that doesn't mean I'm a drongo.
That's a hopeless
Yeah, I get the idea, Clint.
was set in an average town, used universal storytelling, and had the star power of Jurassic Park actor Sam Neill. It had all the ingredients to be a hit, but in terms of worldwide gross, ranked lower than Digimon the Movie and Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Compare this to the 3rd highest ranking film of that year, Castaway, which had a budget 15 times the size of The Dish. At its widest release, The Dish made it to 189 cinemas in Australia, 82 in North America, and 6 countries in total. Castaway made it to 233 cinemas in Australia, 3,061 in North America, and 45 countries in total. In order to succeed internationally, Australian films need to strike a delicate balance between a distinctively Australian cultural identity and universal appeal. Universal themes and storytelling will obviously make the film accessible to all audiences. However, I feel there should be a requirement to showcase Australia's unique culture. As Warden O'Regan said, the major point of difference for international buyers is a certain stylistic inflection that includes the aestheticization of iconic Australian landscapes and lifestyles, national images that function as image and story enhancement. It also goes without saying that in order to be successful internationally, Australian films actually need to be sent internationally in the first place, with solid marketing and distribution.
Yeah, mate. This is Australia.